welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host, Deffinition, and this is the channel where we explain it so you don't have to. Game of Thrones has just dropped its first big episode in the season, and this incredible Stark showdown is the best one we've seen, well, since the other big Stark showdown this weekend in Avengers Endgame. This is a nail-biting 90-minute set piece that really feels like some amazing payoff after a slightly slower start to the season, and there are some big moments that arguably stand out as some of the show's best. Throughout this video, I'll be breaking down everything that you need to know about the episode, as well as what it could lead to down the line. This is full spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen the latest release in the season yet and don't want to know what happens, then I highly recommend that you turn off now. With that out the way, I hope you enjoy the video. Now sit back, relax, and let's get into my recap of Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3. Okay, so just a quick recap of Episode 1 and 2. Bran did his best impression of a mime. Jon Snow told Daenerys he's anti-incest because he discovered that having sex with his auntie's incest, and that he's the true heir to the throne. And Tormund did one of the best got milk adverts of all time. Episode 3 picks up immediately during the transition between the calm before the storm, with the soldiers of Westeros facing down against the White Walkers. We see shaking Samwell Tarly arming himself with dragonglass, and the Unsullied and Dothrakians are ready to Dothrek again. Sorry, that's terrible. They're also joined by none other than the Red Woman, who states she will be dead by the morning. This massively plays into the end, and she helps to arm the soldiers with fire weapons ready to light up the landscape. It's a battle of ice and fire, and whilst it initially seems like the former may have a chance, the latter pretty quickly beats it, and we realise that this battle isn't going to be as easy as the last two episodes. It's pretty safe to say that this is easily one of the most epic Game of Thrones, scratch that, TV episodes ever made, and throughout there's some massive moments of action. However, the episode 2 brings in some pretty heartfelt pieces, such as Sansa and Tyrion's exchange in the crypt. You know things are bad when Tyrion says, maybe we should have just stayed married, but it's great that Sansa tells him that he was the best of them. And that's a compliment because, well, there's been so much Actually, never mind. This section also gives Bran a chance to go into full Raven mode, and using a murder of crows he begins approaching the Night King and surveying the landscape. The battle rages on with the Hound facing down a giant, and Arya literally throws the book at someone when in the library. We also get our first dragon vs dragon fight, and it's absolutely amazing. Now for me, this is the standout moment of the episode, with Jon and Dany pretty much ravaging the Night King. Unfortunately for them, he's harder to kill than James Bond, and we learn that he's fully fire resistant. At this point, the major deaths are coming thick and fast, with Linnea Mormont unfortunately not getting to the point where she can star on My Super Sweet 16, and Beric is stabbed multiple times, and it's unlikely that he will return with the flame fully extinguished. The Night King too has other plans, and he resurrects countless numbers of the dead, which is when the forces of Westeros realise that they're pretty screwed. Dany's dragons flee, leaving her to fend for herself. Jon has to retreat to Bran. Jorah is stabbed, and Brienne is ravaged by whites quicker than you can say, I've just become a knight. It's a pretty devastating moment that, in true Game of Thrones style, feels like a massive gut punch for our heroes. Bran returns at this point to his body, but it all feels a little too late, with Theon having to sacrifice himself in order to buy some more time. Oh Theon, at least you got a chance at redemption. But yeah, see you later pal, I didn't really like you that much. It looks like the Night King finally has his prize, and the two engage in a staring match that doesn't even feel like Bran can win as the Night King approaches him. Then out of nowhere comes Arya, stabbing him right in the gut at the last second and securing the episode as one of the best ever. From here the whites all fall to the ground, the battle is over, and you can finally breathe again. I've seen some people say that this was a bit of a cheap ending, but Bran did say that he was going to use himself as bait, which in the end he did, so Arya could finally kill the Night King. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean everything is finished though. There are a lot of casualties, including Jorah, who is willing to die in order to escape the friend zone. This was probably the most devastating death for me in the episode, but at least we get to see the actor return as Batman in DC's Titans, which I'm massively looking forward to. Melisandre promised that she'd be dead by dawn, and she doesn't let us down. The character walks out of the castle gates and removes her cape and collar and walks into the snow, aging faster than we did whilst watching this episode. Due to this, the character dies because she no longer has a purpose. This entire time she's been trying to defeat the Night King, and it's likely that she knew all along that Arya would be the one to do this. Those who remember their first encounter back in season 3 will recall that the Red Woman stated that the two would meet again, but that on the way Arya would close many eyes. This This prophecy is now fulfilled, so Melisandre can rest. However, that doesn't mean it's a happy ending, and there are still some large questions such as why did Bran disappear for so long, and why has the show got rid of its biggest and baddest villain? Well, it doesn't seem like it actually has. It seems that Master Manipulator Cersei hoped that this would be the case, which is why she stayed her forces. With Winterfell now in ruins, they will be an easy target for her Golden Company. Add to this the fact that Dany and Jon are now going to have to deal with who will get the throne when this is over, and it looks like the Mad Queen prophecy could still come true. Personally, I think Cersei is ready to ravage the forces of Westeros, especially with many of their big members now decimated by the White Wall. Whilst I've seen some anger that the Night King is no more, the show is actually returning to its roots with the showdown between the two sides, and for me this makes for a more engaging battle, especially with our heroes being stuck in such a weak position. Everything is building towards who will get the throne, and it doesn't seem so assuring now that Cersei will be the one who is taken from it, especially with the huge losses that everyone has faced from this battle. Obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the episode and if you feel like it lived up to your expectations. Personally, I was a bit disappointed that there wasn't a big twist on the Night King, but there may be a bigger reveal going forward. Comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video then please give it a thumbs up, and make sure you check out my ending explained breakdown of Avengers Endgame, which will be linked at the end. This is a channel for people who are never missing television, so if that's the kind of thing you like, you need to subscribe to Deffinition. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.